Hey, look YouTube, welcome back to a new video with Rams fan YT. In today's video, the transfer window has just closed. Certainly in England it has. Anyhow, I think Scotland's got a day later or something. But we're not interested in Scotland on this channel, really. Instead, we're going to be looking at the Premier League, which I feel like I've neglected a bit recently in terms of content-wise. Used to be quite a mainstay of the channel and has really slid recently. But it's back. And there's some big names. We're going to be looking at the best Premier League transfer in every single club in the Premier League. So let me know if you support Premier League club, which one do you think has been your transfer of the season? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Right, starting off with Arsenal, I've gone with Gabriel Jesus. A talented and versatile forward, Jesus is capable of playing in several attacking positions. He's deployed as a centre forward, as an out-and-out striker, as a false nine, as an inside forward, as a winger, or as an attacking midfielder. And he's renowned for his pace, technical skills, dribbling ability, creativity, finishing, movement, and work ethic. Actually, in October 2019, Jesus decided to switch to be more of a winger role at Manchester City, just because he wanted to play more games. Aston Villa, Diego Carlos. I know he unfortunately got an injury, but I still think he is the best signing they've made because he was key to the defensive excellence of Sevilla. The 29-year-old, who has been a regular starter ever since he moved from Sevilla from Nantes, has played more minutes in the Liga than any other Sevilla player last season. The Brazilian has a similarly prominent in Europe in competitions, as one of only two players to have played in every minute in Sevilla's Champions League group stage campaign last season. Diego Carlos stands at 6'1" and possesses outstanding physical qualities, well suited to the Premier League, in fact. He is strong and powerful, but also quick across the turf, giving him invaluable recovery pace and allowing him to keep up with the onrushing attackers. He makes the most of his physical capabilities by defending aggressively and in a combative style. Diego Carlos relishes duels and throws himself into aerial challenges. His total of 21 blocks is the highest in the Liga last season and underlines his willingness to put his body on the line for the team. It also shows his knack for reading danger and appearing in the right place at the right time when defending his own box. Given the amount of time Villa tend to spend under pressure this season anyhow, those qualities would undoubtedly be useful to them. Any concerns around the weaknesses in his game are offset by his passing ability as well as his defensive strengths. Gerrard likes his defenders to play out from the back, and Diego Carlos excels in that regard. Last season in La Liga, he made the second most passes in the league for a defender. He plays a key role in the build-up play, and his pass success rate of 88.4% is far higher than most players in the entire world, to be fair. His numbers for touches, passes, and passes in the opposition half are considerably higher. Diego Carlos's distribution could help Gerrard change the way they play too. Diego Carlos could also provide some much-needed leadership in Villa's defence, especially seeing the current situation with Tyrone Mings at the club. But his leadership qualities convinced Andre Jardim, the manager of Brazil's under-23s, to include him as one of only 3 players over the age of 24 in his squad for the Tokyo Olympics last summer. The centre-back duly embraced that responsibility, starting all 6 of Brazil's fixtures and playing a key role as they overcame Spain in the final to claim gold at the Olympics. Bournemouth, Marcos Senesi. The Argentine defender is a very positive defender. He likes to step up and he can often be found in the opposition half. Senesi combines this with tactical intelligence, and he is a smart defender. The central defender generally makes the right decisions in stepping up, and this is something he has improved on a lot last season, actually. Something Senesi has also improved on lately is his strength in the duels. which was actually shown against Sebastian Haller, where he won most duels against the strong Frenchman. Marcus Senesi is really dominant in the 1v1 duels, and it suits a high defensive line perfectly. He is relatively quick, and the 25-year-old is confident on the ball. He generally is very good in the build-up play. He can find his teammates well between the lines and is really comfortable in dribbling out from the back. Brentford, Keane Lewis Potter, a left winger who cuts in on his right foot and is able to play as a central striker. He scored actually 128 goals in just one season for Hessel Rangers in the Hull and District Youth League. And I know that's like some pity non-league team in like tier 11 or something. But 128 goals in one season, that even no matter what level you're playing at, that is an immense amount of goals. Keane Potter's Keane Lewis Potter, low centre of gravity likens him to former Chelsea star Eden Hazard. He's not as good as Hazard by any strength of the imagination at this point, but he's got the skills and abilities to be striving towards that. Lewis Potter's made 67 appearances in the second tier, scoring 14 goals, and he also had a 13-goal haul when Hull City won League One, which are obviously not included in the appearances in the second tier. Lewis Potter, who still cuts quite a slight figure actually, is not afraid of the physical stuff, with his tricky on the ball, often marking out as a target man for uncompromising defenders, but it still doesn't affect him. Brighton Hove Albion, Pervis Estupinan. Estupinan has flourished in a side whose commitment to attack has seen them average the sixth most on-target shots of 4 per 90 this season, or last season rather. A gung-ho fullback who likes to rampage up and down the left. In fact, if we look at this as soon as average position map, we can see Estupinan gets high and wide in the pitch. A prolific dribbler, Estupinan ranks third in La Liga for completed take-ons by a left-back per 90, with 1.89. And he is also second for the attempted dribbles at 3.37. Unlike plenty of modern fullbacks, there is an all-important end product to his game. He carves out 1.3 chances per 90, which is third in La Liga at left-back, and an average of 0.11 assists is enough to secure his place in the top 10. An accurate and reliable crosser, Estupinan connects with 1.26 deliveries per 90, enough to rank 5th in La Liga against his peers. It's at this point you might be expecting us to gloss over, or expect me anyhow, to gloss over Estupiñán's defensive work, but he's actually a better defender than most attack-minded fullbacks. What is interesting is Estupiñán coming out on top amongst the La Liga left-backs for interceptions with 1.82 per 90, which points to a strong ability to read the game and time his interventions. Equally, the number of tackles made by a player is more of a reflection of how busy they are. However, using the true tackle win rate, which is total tackles divided by the total tackles plus the challenges lost plus fouls from attempted tackles, Estupiñán comes out with a very impressive 63.7%. As usual with these things, very technical considering it is Brighton we're talking about. Chelsea, Wesley Fofana. Playing with a maturity that belies his tender years, it's been impressive to see him not just holding his own, but starring for Leicester. You can see he has anticipation as a defender, he has speed, he has aggression, he defends forward, and he's coped well for a young player. Unfazed by playing at the elite level, it's important to note how well he's done against some truly excellent teams, such as Arsenal, Leeds United, Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Aston Villa, and many, many more in the Premier League. Defending with conviction and intelligence, the Frenchman undertakes his responsibilities extremely effectively. He's attentive and remaining concentrated. He shrewdly picks up opponents' movements and acts accordingly, be it tracking runners in behind, into the channel, into the box, or when they drop deep with their backs to goal. He's rarely being caught out, so quick to react to triggers like a pass to feet, a slowly hit pass, and if his man is receiving a back to goal or in an open posture, when he sees the ball holder preparing to strike the ball, his alertness has certainly been a highlight. Blessed with good pace and acceleration, this helps him keep up with runners so he can recover his position, support a colleague, and when he steps out to apply an intervention. Communicating well with his defensive colleagues and developing his understanding with them with every passing week. Fofana's usually been well spaced and in line to manage threats. This has seen him shift across, drop back, push up, or cover a colleague's position if they step out, which has helped Leicester maintain their organisation and structural security. It's also been key how he and his comrades have passed on marking details so they can maintain solidity in their designated zone. Reading the play smartly and quick to react to situations, Fofana has done an excellent job of covering the space behind his wing-back when they maraud upfield. In doing so, this has provided cover in the event of a turnover, so Chelsea won't be exposed to a counter. Acquitting himself soundly in aerial battles, the languid stopper of 1.9 metres has used his judgment, leap and height to frequently win his duels. Indeed, his worth here has been evident in set pieces at both ends, goal kicks, and when crosses or through balls are fired into the box. Setting his feet well and staying balanced have been pillars of his success here too. Meanwhile, his offensive exploits have been very important. To start with his dribbling and his ability to carry the ball upfield when possible, we'll see Chelsea bypass the first line of pressure and add another number into their attacks to manufacture numerical superiorities into their offensive half. In the process, he lures out one or more presser, which means a colleague can venture into the vacated space. The fact Chelsea usually build up from the back will allow them, he will allow them to create an overload, thus granting space for Fofana to progress upfield once they beat the press. Very calm and composed on the ball, Fofana importantly handles being pressed well, so he can still execute his actions cleanly. Passing the ball with clarity and precision, there's been a lot to like about his efforts here. Capable of moving the ball quickly across the back line or into midfield while aiming to create a disconnect in the opposition rear guard. He strikes his passes firmly and accurately. If an opening arises to switch the play, launch a through ball to one of his forwards, or break the lines, he'll take it, for his confidence and range allow him to do so. By the numbers, his 6.96 interceptions per game, 9.05 recoveries per game, 4.41 aerial duels per game, 71.9% duel win rate, 2.32 ball carries per game, 35.72 passes per game at an 85.1% success rate, and 4.87 passes per game into the final third demonstrates his all-round value. Crystal Palace, Cheick Doucouré. At 22 years old, a midfielder from Mali, Doucouré quickly cemented his place at Lens in the 2018-19 Ligue 2 campaign, with him playing a total of 34 games across all competitions that season. Now, he was an ever-present figure in that team, and his development as a player can be seen as his presence certainly positively impacts the game for his team. Being originally a defensive central midfielder, Doucouré has been given the experience of playing as a centre-back last season, slotting in as a left centre-back while occasionally being deployed on the right side of the back three as well. However, he still most often played as a defensive central midfielder, mainly being placed on the left side though, occasionally on the right side. As a defensive central midfielder, Doucouré is very active on both ends of the pitch. As you can see throughout matches, his playing style fits the stereotype of a box-to-box midfielder. Doucouré mainly stays around the middle third, but in defence, he's willing to drop deeper and defend near or even inside the penalty area if necessary. Meanwhile, in attacking situations, he'll push forward to support the attack and help circulate the ball, add to the numbers, and potentially help the team to counter-press when they lose possession. Right from the start, it's very easy to see that Doucouré is impressively athletic and has excellent physical prowess. The 2000-born midfielder stands at 1.8 metres tall and weighs around 75 kilograms. He has a medium body build with decently developed upper and lower muscles. He's strong, agile, quick, and energetic. This impressive athleticism and physical prowess certainly gives him a lot of advantage in his game, both on and off the ball, making him a very interesting player to follow. Aside from his physical prowess, Doucouré is also proficient on the ball and shows good technical ability when receiving, dribbling, and passing the ball. The young player from Mali also shows great intelligence and quick thinking on the ball, as well as an impressive awareness and vision. His concentration and defensive awareness to proactively disrupt the opposition and retain the possession in a simple but highly effective manner make him an incredibly underrated talent. Everton, Amadou Onana. To put it bluntly, he is a 6'5" powerhouse. The Senegalese-born star built himself a reputation for breaking up play and bossing midfield during a stellar breakthrough campaign for Lille last season. He made 32 appearances for the French side, scoring once and earning himself admirers across the continent with his athletic and no-nonsense style of play. Fulham, João Palhinha. Palhinha is a brilliant case of how a player adapts his playing style according to the system he plays in. At Braga, he was a no-nonsense defender, but he's taken several roles at Sporting. If he manages to improve his passing and build-up play, then he can transform at Fulham's midfield or defence. He's very reliable on the counter-attack, which is, I suspect, how Fulham will be playing this season. Leeds United, Brendan Aronson. First things first, Aronson is technically strong. His control is good and he has a wide range of passing. He regularly takes set pieces, and as one would expect from a young attacking midfielder, he looks like a kid who grew up with a ball at his feet. He has a lean build, although given his age of 21, there's time for him to fill out a little more. That's not to say his stature holds him back. His agility is a major asset, and he's adept at receiving the ball with a marker close by and spinning away into space. This, paired with a natural work rate, makes Aronson seem as if he's positively thrumming with energy, ideal for a pressing system. Unlike players who wait for the game to come to them, Aronson's energy is on show in all phases of play. He's happy to find space in deep positions to receive the ball when his team is trying to play out from the back and is almost constantly moving. It's perfectly normal to see Aronson dropping into a deeper position and finding a hole to occupy in front of the defence, moving into a wider position before hugging the touchline to maintain the width and running beyond the forward line to break into dangerous positions in the same game. The runs he makes are generally intelligent. His energy does not stop there either. He's more than an eager presser. It's not uncommon to see Aronson helping to win the ball back on the edge of his own defensive third before leading a counter-attack, nor pressing high up to force a turnover. It's fairly normal to see him win a throw-in high up and then take it himself rather than waiting for a fullback to make their way up the field. He is a dangerous passer, and his passing can be a potent weapon if given space in the final third. Much like his off-the-ball movement, he gives the impression of consistently seeing the right run. Though he doesn't attempt the incisive with every pass, he does have the feel of a player who is always trying to drive his team up the pitch and make something happen. His natural agility and ball-carrying ability makes him a nuanced opponent too. He has the ability to create a metre of space for himself in the middle of a pitch, and he's adept at winning free kicks in dangerous positions via an opponent swinging a leg at a ball but he has long since taken away. His technical abilities come together nicely to form a fairly well-rounded player. For a team playing in transitions against a high press, he offers an outball and an option who can resist the press and find an advanced teammate. To a team dominating possession against a low block, he offers another option between the lines, and his unpredictability can often be the difference in such a situation. He feels like an ideal fit as a team's secondary playmaker, not necessarily directing the game, but providing technical security and reliable pressing in the final third. And Aronson is therefore likely to provide a good return of assists. Leicester City, without this. This is a smart defender who is unlikely to throw himself into tackles unnecessarily, with a calm and disciplined approach. He's not the biggest defender and is not brilliant in the air, but the Belgian is great at reading the game, as he compares favourably across the top 5 European leagues for interceptions and clearances. Compared to the outgoing Fofana, Matthias is a different player. He will not like to play out from the back too much, but he will make up for what his out-and-out defending brings. Liverpool, Darwin Nunez. Nunes is a right-footed player and he possesses an athletic frame, excellent acceleration and sprinting speed, and is the defining facet of his athletic skill set. With his explosive change of pace, he being capable of creating immediate separation, he also has good awareness, he scans for space, and makes decisions when moving relative to the ball, space, teammates, and opponents. Nunes is a disruptive striker with dynamic range and ability that can carry counterattacks, make incisive movements around the box, and strike the ball explosively. He is adept at attacking open spaces and is good at generating shots from varied situations. He is also a promising creator around the box and is also capable of playing as a left winger. Nunes usually opts to rely on intelligent positioning and timing of run-ins behind or in between defenders, especially in attacking the space between a fullback and a centre-back at the back post, often initially curving his run away from the centre-back before moving back in field. He often makes adjustments to his footwork to find space in the box and also uses his body either to avoid a foul but forcibly enough to arrive at a cross ahead of his marker. During his spell at Benfica, Nunes played in a variety of positions and systems. He played as a striker and a left inside forward in a 4-4-2 and 3-4-3 formations, with responsibilities in these roles shifting on Benfica's ball possession or counter-attacking approaches for games. His ability to drift into the box and create space was a major part of his game, while also being aided by the presence of another striker, which enabled Nunes to vacate his wide position to take up more positions in the penalty area, which I imagine Salah will probably be doing at Liverpool. Manchester City, Erling Haaland. A prolific goalscorer and regarded as one of the best players in the world. Haaland has all the attributes of a complete centre forward. He uses his sizable frame to hold play up effectively and involve others. He has the pace and clever movement to run in behind. He can dribble and create, and he can finish with both feet and his head. He usually comes deep to collect the ball to help his team build up play, often looking to spread the ball wide for a teammate, before turning and sprinting towards goal. He sometimes comes too deep for the defenders to follow him. As such, he has the awareness to turn on the ball and create from a forward-facing position. In the penalty area, he makes small, sharp movements to spot an opportunity for a teammate to attempt to find him in space, and can change the line on which he is running and accelerate into that space, making him extremely difficult for defenders to read. He uses his body well when playing with his back to goal, protecting the ball effectively as he tries to bring it under control. Given he can use his strength to secure possession when under pressure, he is also effective in providing the team's defenders with clearance. Haaland's is most apparent when he drifts into the left inside channel. His primary aim is always to get a shot off, but he also has the vision and skill to pick out a delayed run from midfield in the centre. His ability to carry the ball at pace also helps create for others, especially on the counter-attack. Manchester United, Antony. The Brazilian is an inventive and intelligent player with 8 goals and 8 assists during his first 1,200 Eredivisie minutes. There is unlikely to be a better rookie in the Dutch top flight this season, last season, and Antony has a gifted left foot. Much of the time, Antony enjoys hanging wide on the right, so he can gain momentum after picking up the ball by driving inwards. His acceleration from a standing start is explosive. His elite balance and lower body strength allows him to remain on his feet even under heavy pressure. He is a worker with great endeavour, the type of player to clean up his own mess. In Brazil, Antony relied more on ingenuity to create his moments, and there is still an element of that to his game. Now, though, after just a matter of months in Europe, he plays with a calculating maturity and sensibility, while retaining that endearing, unpredictable streak. One of Antony's most prominent moves has delivered goals on multiple occasions already for Ajax, and will do so for Man United. On his left post, on the left foot, in a tiny segment of the pitch, in the left-hand half space just outside the penalty area, Antony likes to bend in floated crosses to the far post. His command over the ball is masterful. The swing of his leg and shaping of his body illustrative of a well-cultured muscle memory. It is a useful tool to have against sides intent on packing their own defensive third and congesting central areas, which I imagine Manchester United will be coming up quite a bit. For a player of such stature and speed, it would be easy to assume that he is obsessed with the byline, but his relative one-footedness, 41 of his first 45 shots in the Eredivisie were actually taken with his left foot, means that he prefers to check back inside. At Ajax, Antony was faced with a medium to low block and almost always slows to a standstill after racing onto the ball. He has developed a sharp drop of the shoulder, though, which, combined with its explosiveness and close control, makes him difficult to stop from going inside. The Brazilian makes a habit of crossing deep into the penalty area from this position, just outside the penalty area. Antony had been decisive in his early days at Ajax, outperforming his expected goals and posting incredibly dribbling numbers, astoundingly high in both volume and success rate. His hot finishing is largely underpinned by well-placed shots from range under little pressure. Antony still attempts a fair portion of his shots from less than efficient areas, and this is underpinned by his inherent confidence in his ability, though his shots in general are well refined, powerful, and testament to strong technique. Closer to goal, he is yet again very decisive. With better decision making, he could easily be a 15 to 20 goal a season attacker. In a more transition orientated team, he could be devastating too. 5 of his first 7 Ajax goals were scored on a break or shortly following a turnover in possession. He is a very good player to have in a reactionary sense. Newcastle United, Alexander Isak. Isak's technical ability is largely fantastic. Despite often receiving possession with his body too square to the ball, his ability to spin and open his posture up is great, as is his awareness to make first-time layoffs and combine with close-by teammates. He showcases consistently excellent close control in tight spaces and an ability to shift the ball and his body in alternate directions very sharply. A skill made all the more impressive when you appreciate his tall, rangy frame. This can also be seen in some of his one-on-one attempts, where he is comfortable shifting possession onto either side of his body. His positioning and movement for the ball are exemplary too. His sense of how and when to drop closer to the ball are great for linking play from side to side and creating overloads from the flank. Equally impressive is his use of his technique in executing double movements to make sharp runs into the drawn open channels, putting to use his blistering levels of acceleration. His shot generation is absolutely impeccable. His general awareness to maximise the space he has to receive is expertly done, and he gets into countless shooting positions in each match, where he has the confidence to execute shots with either foot. Isak has also proven himself to be a formidable counter-attacking threat. He is comfortable offering and operating down both the left and right sides of the pitch, testament to his mobility and technical quality. His link play and speed, with and without the ball, add up to him being clinical target up front. In fact, he is more threatening running onto long balls from the goalkeeper due to his pace and change of direction when chasing down kicks. He works hardest for the ball when chasing passes in one direction, back towards the goalkeeper, or when counter-pressing balls he has given away. In those cases, he makes plenty of good challenges. Nottingham Forest, Morgan Gibbs White. One of about 20 signings I could have picked. And although Gibbs White is seen as an attacking midfielder, he is well suited to playing the box-to-box role, which we'll see him initially playing slightly deeper than his natural position. The job of a box-to-box midfielder is to affect the game in offensive and defensive situations. But a key detail in that role is that they have to be able to link the play in advanced areas of the pitch. This role therefore complements Gibbs White, as he is a pacey and high energy player, so he can cover lots of ground in a short space of time. Another role he can play is the advanced playmaker. He played this role during his short loan spell at Swansea. This is where you can see a player like Gibbs White flourishing and utilising his dribbling and creative qualities on a more frequent basis. He will drift into pockets of space in between the opposition defensive and midfield line and make things happen in the final third. He is an intelligent player, so he won't think twice about making runs from behind if he sees the space. He is also intelligent enough to know when to drift wide or to create an overload and a free pass. At times for Wolves, Gibbs White played out wide in a front three. He would more often tuck inside into the half spaces rather than hug the touchline to apply width. Here he can use his excellent ball control and vision to probe the defence from a slightly more narrower position. Morgan Gibbs White is a very effective player when it comes to the creative side of the game. He is a good dribbler, averaging 1.92 successful dribbles per 90. He plays an adequate amount of through passes and successful passes into the penalty area per 90, which once more indicates his playmaker ability. His passing stats aren't best, but they aren't the worst either. He does have a good progressive to forward pass ratio, which outlines that he advances the ball to teammates further up the pitch. He is competitive in defensive duels. He performs really well in the aerial aspect, which may surprise some people. If you watch Gibbs White play, you can see that he is a smart presser of the ball, and he gets into good positions to dispossess his opponents. Southampton, Gavin Bazunu. I believe he has tremendous potential to improve and will give them great competition for places in the goalkeeping department. He is a goalkeeper with a very modern style of play, comfortable in the build-up phase, who was developed physically through some very important loan moves early in his career to Rochdale and Portsmouth. He is already an international goalkeeper, which is actually very rare for his young age, and coming from Manchester City, you know he has learned from some of the best coaches and teammates. And going to Southampton gives him more opportunity to develop his game through actually playing first team minutes in the Premier League. I think he's made 5 appearances so far to date. Which I think is every game, actually. Tottenham Hotspur, Richarlison. As a right-footed, left-sided forward, Much of Richarlison's game is based on looking to cut infield from a wide starting position, as well as forging opportunities to shoot. Due to this, defenders will invariably spend lots of time trying to show Richarlison on the outside. He is skilled at working space for himself on his right foot, but has also improved markedly when it comes to going down the line on the left. He combines well with central players with quick pass and move combinations to attempt to unlock compact defences. His primary aim is always to find a route to goal, and he was Everton's greatest goal threat in each of his 4 seasons at Goodison Park, and during his spell there he scored 43 Premier League goals. A runner rather than a dribbler, he prefers to use his pace and strength over tricks and flicks, although if you actually saw the Spurs v Forest game, you'd notice that he did do a bit of a keepy-uppies, which the media went absolutely mad over. But that's not normally his style of play, actually. But I think it's good for the game. But that's a whole other combination of things which we're not talking about today. He can be incredibly difficult to stop, however, and he progresses at play very quickly, making him useful at attacking transitions. He also uses his pace to threaten the space in behind, making runs beyond when he might have a chance of getting on in goal. Opposing fullbacks often make an effort to get close to him, to press him on his first touch in the hope of forcing him into a pass backwards. If a defender even slightly mistimes their challenge, though, Richarlison has the skill to push the ball past them before skipping away into the space they have left. He is particularly skilled at dinking the ball over a defender's foot to escape them before bursting forwards. He is also a significant threat in the air, possessing a huge leap and excellent timing when attacking crosses. At 5 foot 10 inches, he is often underestimated by opponents. He makes the most of clever, well-timed runs on the blind side of a defender to get into a threatening position. Penultimately, West Ham United with Lucas Paqueta. One of Paqueta's great strengths is his versatility. Though his preferred position is as a central midfielder, his all-round game means that he has played in a variety of roles, even in that area. Paqueta is comfortable playing deep or even in a number 10 role. Last season, he has been used as a false 9 for Lyon. While he has performed that task admirably, it is not one of his favourites. Paqueta was branded as the new Kaka when he broke onto the scene and moved to Milan in a high-profile move from Flamengo when he was just 21 years old. Paqueta has since flourished at Lyon, becoming one of the stars of Ligue 1 and establishing himself as an important member of the Brazilian national team. Graceful and accurate in possession, what is impressive about his game is that he is a player who actually enjoys the dirty work too. Finally, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Matthias Nunes. What a surprise, it's a Portuguese player. And Nunes is usually deployed in a double pivot in a 3-4-3 formation, operating as a number 8 looking to get forward and contribute to the attack, and also has a good passing range, as he can make different types of passes, whether he is looking to switch the play or try to break the lines with penetrative passes or passes that split the opposition back line, which he is highly effective at. Yeah. I've been speaking very quickly, haven't I? He also has the ability to carry the ball and make progressive runs, using the combination of speed and strength to make these runs. While also displaying good technique on the ball, Nunes also possesses good anticipation and reading of the game, which allows him to make effective interceptions and challenges. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you're new around here. That'd be hugely appreciated. This is going to, as usual, be a series of 6 episodes. We're next doing the Championship Best Summer Transfer, and they should be shorter each time because they're harder and harder to get research and information about, and less chunky sources. Thank you very much for 80 subscribers, but goodbye for now.